Welcome to the Art Lady Home. Today I'm going to share with you this really simple carrot cake recipe. And it's using a boxed carrot cake and then doctoring it up with cans of pineapple, coconut, and some varieties of raisins and cranberries and nuts. And it's just amazing. Look at that. I want to flip it to the side so you can see it. I love lots of coconut. Look at all that coconut in there. And then it's got chunks of raisins. And it's amazingly moist. And I just lightly dust it with some powdered sugar. That's all it needs. This is a vegan-friendly recipe, but you can also use cream cheese frosting if you'd like, so you can adapt it both ways. But just a light dusting of powdered sugar is all it needs. And it's amazingly moist and so, so, so delicious. I've craved this for about 4 days now. And so finally I made it and I'm sharing it with you. And I hope you like it. And if you like this recipe, I'd, go ahead and subscribe. I would really appreciate that. It's going to help me meet my quota for YouTube, the new standards that YouTube is having. And so your subscription will be very, very much appreciated. But stick around and I'll show you how easy this is to make. The first thing I did to doctor up this cake mix recipe, first of all, I'm not using eggs, but I'm using some egg replacers. This is going to be so it's vegan friendly. If you want to use eggs, that's up to you, but this is what I've done. So I used my egg replacers. I did 3 tablespoons of egg replacer and then 6 tablespoons of water. And the instructions say to let it set a bit, so it is a little sticky here, almost like a dough right now. So that's in the bowl ready to mix in. Now what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm just going to add in my oil, and I'm doing it according to the directions on the package. And I found that this carrot cake mix is absolutely delicious here. And it does even come with a set of a little pouch of dried raisins and some dried carrots. But of course we're going to add more raisin and more fresh carrots to this. So I'm going to go ahead now. I'm not going to add the water like it says here because I'm going to be adding some pineapple and pineapple juice. But I am going to add the vegetable oil that it calls for. And it calls for 1/4 cup of vegetable oil. So I'm going to put that in. And I find that I like to have the vegetable oil in. It gives it this moist. Although this cake is going to be very, very moist because of all the fruit that we're adding. The can of pineapple. But I do like adding that. If you want to opt for no vegetable oil and just substitute with applesauce, you can try that. I thought just because it's only 1/4 cup, I'm not going to substitute it. Sometimes I do substitute with applesauce instead. But my directions just happen to say 1/4 cup vegetable oil, so that's what I'm going to follow. If yours says a little bit more, I would just only add 1/4 cup vegetable oil, because I don't think you're going to need it. You can tell when you add the, once you add the pineapple juice to this, you can tell if it's going to be too thick or too runny, then you can add a little bit more water according. But I'm going to go ahead, stir this up a little bit in here to this egg, my oil. And now I'm going to start blending my carrots, and I'm going to blend my pineapple. So what I did was I took a can of chunk pineapple, and I'm going to throw in the whole can. This is a 20-ounce can of chunk pineapple, and I'm using the juice as well. I'm not going to be using the water. So I went ahead in my blender, and I put in my pineapples, chunks of pineapples, and I'll blend that for a few seconds. But I'm also going to blend in at the same time, and this is kind of like the lazy way. If I'm going to make something like this, I don't want to have to spend a lot of time shredding. So I'm going to put in a heaping cup load of these little baby carrots that are already cut up for me. And they're just little nubs like this, but I'm going to pop those into the blender as well so that gets shredded. Double check on both ends. Sometimes one of the ends is a little has a little bit of the stem still there. Sometimes I've noticed. So I'm going to blend this first, then I'm going to put my carrots in and blend that. And I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. I blended that in, and remember I blended the pineapple first so that the liquid was able to fill the blender, and then when I added my carrots it was easy to blend the carrots, so I don't want any big chunks. And it's not, it looks like a baby food almost, carrots, and oh, this would be delicious for a baby. Carrots and pineapple. And this is going to be my liquid for my cake. That's why I'm not going to add any more of that water if I don't need to. And this was my absolute favorite carrot cake. Now I'm going to go ahead, I'm just scraping out my blender, and just like 30 seconds and it blended it down nicely. Look how beautiful that is. This is in lieu of hand shaving or hand shredding all those carrots. This is the easier way. If you want to hand shred them and you like bigger chunky carrots, that's fine. Go for it. But I'm looking for something easy and quick. So there we go. Now I'm going to stir this up and I'm going to add my cake mix to it. Now I want to show you the cake mix here. This is just a plain carrot cake mix. And so I'm going to add that in. And then next I'm going to add in, I have a 3/4 of a cup of mixed, it's raisins and cranberries and yellow raisins, golden raisins I think they call it, along with the package that came with this. So I'm going to give this a little stir first, and then I'm going to go ahead and add in my raisins. I've stirred that in nice, and now incorporated everything. Now I'm just going to add a little under a tablespoon of cinnamon. Cinnamon is so good for you. I want to add a lot of cinnamon so we have a real nice, strong flavor to this. Seems like the boxes never add enough. And I'm going to add a little bit of ginger. I love that smell. I'm going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of ginger. Where is my teaspoon? There it is. I'm going to go ahead and add a healthy 1/2 teaspoon, a little bit bigger than a 1/2 teaspoon of ginger. Of course, add your spices as you would like. This is how I make it for me. I don't like the ginger to really be so super strong, but ginger's good for you as well. So I'm popping in that. And then I'm going to incorporate the raisins and golden raisins. And this little package even had some seeds in it as well. And this is 3/4 of a cup. And mixed nuts, a little bit of mixed nuts, walnuts mainly, and some seeds. It looks like sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds. So it's 3/4 of a cup of your choice of seeds, nuts, raisins. I like it to be heavy in texture. And now I'm going to add, I do want to get this package in. The package that came with this. So I'm going to go ahead and add that, and then I'll add my coconut. This is the package that came with it. I want to show you this. It's a little bit of dried carrots with some raisins. And this will give it enough texture. Some of the bigger texture of the carrots. This makes a really moist, really delicious. I eat it for breakfast. It's kind of a wet cake. Very moist. It doesn't fluff up like a regular box cake. It's almost like a bar cake. It's great for breakfast because there's a lot of good stuff in here for you. Now I'm adding a cup of the coconut. And I'm stirring that in. Now I'm going to put it in an oven, 350. I have it in a glass dish. And the last time I cooked this, it was a little over an hour. It was close to about an hour and 10 minutes. But at the 50-minute mark, I'm going to check it. and I'm going to put it on a 350 degree oven, and at the 50 minute mark I'm going to check it, and then I'm going to just watch it from there, and that's what I usually do, so that I don't overcook it. And it starts to pull away from the glass dish, actually, and that's kind of like when you can tell it's done. And then of course when the center when the center stops, when you touch it and it doesn't bounce, and it bounces back, then you know it's done. I sprayed a little nonstick spray, and this is a 9x13 pan. When this is cooked, it's going to expand up a little bit, rise up just right at the top. So it only rises about an inch from here. It's almost like I said, a bar cake. And then we sprinkle a little bit of powdered sugar on top. And it's absolutely delicious. I actually have been craving this. I made it about a week and a half ago, and I've been craving it again for about 3 days. So we are making it tonight. Now I'm going to pop it in the oven, and like I said, for about 50 minutes. I'm going to check it, and then it's probably going to go a little bit longer, and I'll let you know when I pull it out. Well, it just came out of the oven. It cooked for 48 minutes, and then it was done this time. I didn't have to go past 50. So I peeked in around 48 minutes, gave a little test. I just touched the top of it, and it bounced back, and it was done. So I pulled it out at 48. I did have convection oven on this time. So depending on your conditions in the oven, check it a little bit earlier than 50, like I said. And I did sprinkle it heavily with powdered sugar because I like my top to be kind of sweet. And I did it right away so that it partially melts in to the cake. But you can see here how I did it pretty heavy. It wasn't a light dusting. But that's how we like it here. And then when you cut the piece, the powdered sugar kind of sprinkles off onto the plate, so it's kind of nice. Then you can get a little bit of powdered sugar on every bite. That's how we like it. But go ahead. I'm going to wait for it to cool, and then I'll show you the finished piece of cake. The cake is cooled, and I'm going to cut a piece out. I actually like cutting it all at the same time, right down the line. Pop out one. Comes out pretty nice. And there. There we have our cake. And of course you can put your favorite cream cheese recipe on here. But like I said, I just like powdered sugar because we do not do dairy. And it's a real pretty cake. It's got a lot of, let me turn it to the side here. It's got a lot of nice little chunks in it. And it's very moist. Look at that. And I hope you enjoy this simple, easy doctored carrot cake. If you like the videos and would like to subscribe, go ahead, hit the subscribe button, and that way I can make more videos. I'm trying to meet my 1,000 video minimum in order to be monetized. Look at that big piece of coconut right there. Yummy. And any subscriptions are very much appreciated.